The Mutant Phase, the 15th Doctor Who Big Finish audio release, and the third part of the Dalek Empire story, first released in 4 parts across CD, cassette, and download on the 18th of December 2000. By the 22nd century, the Daleks have seemingly occupied Earth, and by the 43rd century, there's only a handful of humans left on planet Earth itself. However, the Daleks have a problem of their own, as seemingly some type of virus is being caused within Daleks at certain points, known as the Mutant Phase, mutating the Daleks themselves beyond their normal mutation into something the Daleks no longer recognise as Dalek. When the 5th Doctor, played by Peter Davison, and his companion Nyssa, played by Sarah Sutton, arrive, they have to try and figure out what's going on and set humanity and the Daleks back on their regular paths. They do so with the help of a group of Thals, Professor Tollum, played by Christopher Blake, and Commander Gamatus, voiced by Jared Morgan, as well as the handful of humans from the 43rd century. Albert, voiced by Andrew Ryan, who's supposedly in the story a descendant of the British royal family, who have now mostly been wiped out along with the rest of humanity. Dolores, voiced by Sarah Wakefield, and Professor Carl Henrik, voiced by Mark Gatiss, with, of course, Nicholas Briggs and Alistair Locke once again providing the voice of the Daleks. Now, I'd say this story, once again, is like another 5th Doctor Who story I reviewed. This one, it starts off a little slow, but does get better as time goes on. I can't remember which one it was at this point specifically, but I do remember I said with a previous 5th Doctor story that I felt it started off good, but then kind of slowed down a bit toward the end, and then with another one I felt it started a little slow, but then ended on a really good one. Primeval, that was it. Primeval, I thought, started a little slow, but did actually get better by the end. The Mutant Phase, I think, is very much the same. It starts off a little slow, but does get better as the story goes on, especially when the Doctor and the Daleks work out a weird kind of deal that they will allow the Doctor to kind of continue living, and they will allow him to live if he does this and stops the Mutant Phase, which then turns into a weird plot by the Emperor Dalek, who has taken over, I think he's taken over Gamatus, and he wants to try and stop this Mutant Phase once and for all. But then the ending does get a little complicated, and I guess the Doctor says it best himself, that in going... This is maybe a bit of a spoiler, so if you don't want to have the story ruined, go off and listen to it before you watch the rest of this. That it gets a little confusing towards the end, as it kind of creates a paradox in that the Emperor Dalek has taken over Ganatus, and he believes that he is stopping the Mutant Phase, but in the process he causes it, kind of. To which, when the Doctor explains this to Nessa, it's just like, Doctor, he thought he was preventing the Mutant Phase. He thought he was putting a final stop to it, destroying it. But in doing so, he makes it happen. That's about the size of it, yes. That doesn't make any sense. Like, paradoxes rarely do, Nissa. Paradoxes rarely do. So, yeah, the majority of this story takes place either on Skaro, Kansas in 2158, i.e. the 22nd century, or London in 4253, the 43rd century. And what is ultimately revealed is somehow the Daleks, a Dalek shell was... The thing that caused the Mutant Phase was that a Dalek shell was damaged, and in doing so, a wasp that was, I think, somehow different because of pesticides humans had been using in the 22nd century, a wasp had gotten inside a Dalek's casing, had stung the Dalek, and had somehow mutated it. I think that's how it works. Which is kind of funny to think about, that the Daleks were heavily mutated and almost caused their own destruction by a wasp. Which the story is weird, but at the same time, as I said, it does get really good kind of later on. I think part 3 and part 4, I was legitimately interested in the story. So the mutant phase, I don't know if it's the best Fifth Doctor story. I mean, for me, that's still Spare Parts. I think I missed a trick when I started off with Spare Parts. Like that, for me, is clearly the best Doctor Who Fifth Doctor Big Finish story of the lot. I mean, I think I'd muck myself up with that one, but as I said, like with Primeval, this story does get better as the story goes on, and I do think it does do a lot of fun stuff with it. So that's my quick little review on the mutant phase. What do you think of this story? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, see ya.